Listen, as we get into the new year, this is a tremendous time for you to look at your life, evaluate where you come from, where you're at, and where you're going. And so again, I just want to share a couple things to you guys. Just a couple things, as you think about going into this next season. And I'm not going to be really long-winded with these because at the end of the day, we want to continue. Remember, living a life of motivation and inspiration is an ongoing thing. It just does not happen, okay, at one time. Okay, successful people are successful because of their habits. Successful people are successful because they don't seek success. Okay, as you are transitioning, you go into this new year, one of my advices to you is don't seek success. Instead, seek to add value. Okay, and what I mean by that is, again, when you're looking to add value to people, organizations, whatever you're around, okay, success is automatically attracted to that. Money, don't seek money. Okay, don't seek it. Money is attracted to value. When you're on a job and there's a problem on a job and you're the only person that can fix it, you're the only one that has an answer for you, you're the only one that can talk to you, you're the only one that can complete it, you are now adding value to that position. You're adding value to that organization. And where there is a need, everybody, man, a lot of people have seen that movie, man, I, Robot. What'd he say? See a need, feel a need. What you have to do as we transition into this 2017 is really search your heart and search this world and say, you know what are the needs that this world still has? What are the needs? What are the burning desires that you have on the inside that you have inside of you that keeps you up? What is the thing that you feel that you're here to give to this world? Whatever that is, you must take your time to write it out. You must take your time to process it down. As I mentioned to you guys before, one of the things that I'm going to share this year, and that's really intriguing, that makes so much sense, and one of the biggest things that holds so many people back from achieving the goals and being the best is their mind. Einstein said that basically our conscious mind is a wonderful, is a wonderful slave. Okay? But our imagination is a wonderful gift. And so there's a lot of people who have stopped dreaming. They stop imagining. See, in life, we do not just live by just our natural senses, our natural faculties, which is sight, feel, hear, taste, touch. A lot of us are living within a world of possibilities based off of our natural feelings, our natural faculties. But everybody was created with perfect spiritual DNA. That means that inside of everybody are some higher intellectual faculties that when activated and exercised and produced takes you from, what do they say, we use about 10-12% of our brain to 13-14, and guess what, as a genius, all you got to do is use 1 more percent than the next person. 1 more percent. He said, well, what are some of those higher intellectual faculties? What are those other things that you have inside of you, that we all have inside of us, that sometimes we don't exercise, that causes us always to seem like we're reaching the ceiling? Well, we have our perception, how we perceive things. You've seen it before. You got two people see the same thing. One person sees destruction, the other person sees opportunity. We had that election and everything that happened in the election, and it was like, oh, Donald Trump, or oh, Hillary Clinton, who's going to win, whatever. Some people saw that same situation. You know what I'm saying? It's horror, doom and gloom. And I saw it as a great opportunity. And so our perception, how do you look at your situations in your life? How are you perceiving the challenges in your life? One of the chapters in the book, I talk about handling and managing challenges, embracing challenges, embracing them because they're the ticket to our change. And so again, the perception that we have, when we can perceive things differently from the way we perceive them now, it opens us up to new information. It opens us up to new possibilities. Okay? Another intellectual faculty, another faculty that we have is our memory. There's no such thing as a bad memory. We can remember, we can bring into our very presence something right now that happened millions or hundreds or whatever many years ago. Whether it's through reading of history, through television, or even just our own lives. We can bring that into our present and have it being present right now and feel it and understand it and invoke it right now. And so for us to enact our memory, for us to utilize our memory, to draw upon the things of our world is amazing. Another faculty is our imagination. See, in our culture, a lot of times our educational system in and of itself, it tells you, hey kids, stop daydreaming. Hey, stop, what are you doing, oh son or daughter? What are you doing all that dream? You listen, stop. You know what I mean? Why don't you be real? Come back to earth. No, don't come back to earth. Dare to dream. Your mind, our minds was given to us because we are God's greatest creation. His greatest creation. Think about this. We are the only creation that does not just fit in and adapt just to its environment. We're the only ones. Fish do it. Birds do it. You know what I'm saying? Animals do it. They adapt. And the reason why we don't just fit in, we don't just slide and fit in, is because we have one of the most amazing gifts of creation. We get to create our environments. We get to change our environments. We get to think and to do something different. We get a chance to process. We get to research. We get to imagine. We get to do all these things. Our imagination. And so we have the ability to imagine. We have the ability to reach out far beyond. Because here's one thing I want you to remember. If you can dream it and conceive it in your mind, then you can hold it and achieve it in your hand. If you can conceive it in your mind, you can achieve it and receive it in your hand. It's given to you because it's possible. Don't worry about how. Just know that you are created with the art and the ability. Your imagination is not negative. It's not a default. It's given to you so you can expand. So you can go to 12%, 13, 15, 20% of your mind, of your brain, of your ability. And so remember that you have that ability. And then another gift that we have as you get into 2017 is your intuition. It's that gut knowing about something. It is that feeling and that understanding about something without somebody having to tell you information about it. Trust your intuitions. They're not given to you as an enemy. They're given to you as a gift. Trust them. See, it was given, those dreams and those gifts were given to you and only you. They wasn't given to you so that way somebody else have to agree to it and understand it. You don't need permission from nobody else to be great. You're already great. You're already amazing. You already won. You don't need permission from anybody else. You already did. And that's who you are. And so that intuition that's on the inside, that's guiding you here or there. You're like, I just don't got a good feeling about that. But I got a good feeling about this. And then you go tell your friend, what about this? And they say, oh man, whatever, you crazy. And then you get discouraged, like, oh, you know what, I was crazy. No, you're not. You're not. You are operating perfectly in your gifts. And so as you embark into this next year, listen, man, exercise those gifts. Exercise that intuition, that imagination, that perception. Okay? Imagine those things. And then one of the other ones you give is your reasoning. Your reasoning. You have the ability to think however you want to think. That means that Like an animal, different from an animal. An animal is instinctive. You do something to an animal, it's going to react. But you have the ability to think what you want to think. That just means that no matter what's happening on TV, what they're seeing on TV, you have the ability to accept it or reject it. That's why when everything happened with the political situation and they were saying, oh, this is happening, that happened, or you hear the people on the job talking about what's happening down the pipe and everybody else is filled with fear and anxiety, you don't have to accept that. You have the ability to think something different. You have the ability to reason. You have the ability to say, I hear what you're saying, but this is what I'm going to say. And so you never want to lose that ability to reason. And so even as you're embarking into this new year, my encouragement to you is make sure as you're looking at it, listen, take the lid off. Take the lid off of the possibilities. Take the lid off of your dream. Take the lid off. Because if you can see it and conceive it, then you can receive it. Don't worry about how. Because once you start to put your mind on those things, you start to attract those things that it takes to get there. And you have to know, and at the end of the day, that you were created for greatness. You were created for their greatness. And so now I'm going to share with you as we close, one of the biggest hindrances of people as we get from now into the next year. One of the reasons why we can know what we need to do, but we never do it. We can know how to do something, but we don't do it. And I want you to pay close attention to this and remember this. You'll be able to look at your life and you'll be able to say, this is where it happened. You'll be able to look at your situation and say, yup, this is what happened. I'm going to show you guys a simple little diagram that's going to help us understand it. Okay. This circle right here in our mind, nobody's ever seen the mind. Nobody's ever seen it. They've seen the brain. They haven't seen the mind. Okay? So let this illustration. You have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then you have a little thing down there called the body. Subconscious, conscious, and the body. Let that illustration be something as far as to understand what I'm about to share with you in the next couple of minutes. Okay? The conscious mind, that is our intellectual mind. That is what you're using right now. As you're hearing, you're learning, you're applying, you're thinking about something, you're actively thinking about something, that is your conscious mind. That mind is very present focused on what's happening right now, based off of the information it's receiving through feel, touch, taste, all that. That's your conscious mind. But the other part of our mind is our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the emotional mind. That is where the deep-rooted things are set that actually control what we do. It comes in the conscious, it's in the subconscious, and it goes to the body. So, for example, if I watch a movie, okay? If I watch a movie and it's a horror movie, it goes in my conscious, it goes into my subconscious, and then it reacts through my body. See, the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind is this. The conscious mind has the ability to reason. But the subconscious mind does not. It accepts everything it receives, everything, as real. So that means that if I watch something, a horror flick, something, or I'm thinking negative and I'm all that, and it gets inside my subconscious mind to my subconscious mind, the subconscious mind doesn't reason with it. It holds it on as true. And then from there, it produces out of my body what it needs to do, what the subconscious mind is told us to do. And so that's why we always say that, the scripture says, as a man thinketh, so is he. As we're thinking, so are we. And so one of the main reasons why people put goals out there, they know to do better, they know how to do better, but they don't, is because of something called paradigms. Paradigms are basically a mindset that controls, that is basically stabilized by habitual thoughts. Okay, habitual thoughts that then display itself through the body and behavior. So paradigms is the mindset that a person has, okay, that is being stabilized by a certain amount of way of thinking, and it's expressed through the body. And so what happened is, let's just say that I grew up and all I knew was I can accomplish A, B, and C based off where I grew up in Camden, New Jersey. Then if that gets deep in me, in my subconscious, no matter what somebody tells me consciously, and I agree with it, yeah, that's true. At the end of the day, what's going to control what I do and where I go is that subconscious mind. It's going to always control what it is that I do. And so understanding that, we have to understand that if you've had situations in your past, or you've had parents that really spoke into you, or you had parents that, like I said, we are who we are because of whom we are. And we have that deep inside of us. Then we have to understand, what is our paradigms? What do we believe beyond anything else? What is the deep, deep feeling of emotion? You're going for a job. Can I really get this job? You know whether or not you believe you can or not. You know the paradigm that you have or not. Because remember this, it's like a plane. And so if you've ever went to achieve something good in your life, or something different, and you started in that path for a little bit and then came back on, that's because of their paradigms. Like, for example, if I'm in a plane and that plane is on autopilot, and if that turbulence hit the plane is going to get off course. But what a paradigm does is the same thing as autopilot. It brings it right back to the same place. So that means that you can have a momentary, temporary experience of things going this certain way, and all of a sudden find yourself right back because of the paradigms. Because of that deep-rooted mindset that's deep down inside. That you have to go in and you have to uproot and you have to create a new paradigm that is believable. Like, for example, if somebody says, you know what, if I say, hey, what's the most money you've ever made in a year? You say, oh man, the most money I ever made is $70,000. If I say, you know what, at your best, how much do you think you can make in a year? What the number you give me is not as important as showing me the level of what your paradigm is. If you're saying, you know what, I believe, man, I'm getting that 70,000. That means that you believe that you can make only $70,000. But if you get somebody else who made $1 million or whatever it is, hundreds of thousands, whatever, their mindset is already different. They believe that they can get there because of their paradigm, because of what they've experienced. And so my encouragement to you as you guys go forward, this is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to dig in deep with later on before we will make it really practical. I know this is, like I said, it's when we start talking about the mind and it's not really talked about, it's not really understood. It does take time to go back through it and listen to it and understand what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, take this with you into 2017. As you are establishing your goals, those things that you are growing into, as you are establishing those things, I want you also to understand, what are the paradigms that you have? What is the limiting beliefs that you have? And write them down. Write those things down, because at the end of the day, you will always come back to what your subconscious has received. You would always come back to where your paradigms are. And so the way to get new paradigms is repetition. 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 You have to reprogram. You have to re-receive the new information. That's why meditation is so important. That's why declarations are so important. That's why applying emotion to what the new pattern is so important. That's why going on a run, doing something physical, getting a physiological impact and effect of a change of a nature is so important, because it reroutes and replants a new base into your subconscious. This year in 2017, you guys will be able to accomplish so many amazing things, but you only will accomplish those things in as much and up to as your paradigm has changed or shifted. Does it take work? It does take work. But guess what? You can do it. You were created that way. You were made that way. You were made not only with the situation, but with the solution. You were made not only with the opportunity, but the time to do it. That's why the present is called the gift. You can do it. And so again, as we go into it, man, you get you some declarations that are opposite or speak to those paradigm limitations. You get that and you declare those. You meditate it. This is what I meditate on. I meditate on this. I have an abundant supply of wealth, health, I'm influential, and wisdom. That's what I meditate on. And while I'm sitting around, while I'm doing things, I'm just meditating. I have an abundant supply of wealth, health, you know what I'm saying? I'm influential and a tremendous amount of wisdom. And I also meditate on this one, which was amazing. I went to bed last night thinking about this, man. I'm God's masterpiece. I am God's masterpiece. So when I think about my life and I'm meditating that and I'm getting that down, bam, I'm God's masterpiece. I'm God's masterpiece. What does that mean? That means that I'm his masterpiece. Does that mean that everything around me is created specifically for me to operate and to have dominion and authority? That's what it means. My perception changed because my subconscious changed. My subconscious changed because my paradigm changed. My paradigm changed because my consciousness changed and what I had in front of me. So as you go into 2017, change your paradigm, man. Rewrite the program and achieve greatness. 2017 is the year of completion. It's the year of completion. Whatever you started, it's time to complete it now. It's time to complete it. You will go where your mind is equipped to go. So listen, man, you guys be blessed tonight.